Good day, my friends, and very, very warm welcome to the northwest of England. My name is Sam and I faff around with beads and some wire, yes, and various other bits and pieces. So I was sat watching Downton Abbey reruns the other day in my lounge, and as I was faffing about, I was trying to come up with a pair of earrings, which based around these sort of shapes. I'm still going to make these into earrings, actually. I'm going to put a tassel on here, or, you know, add a little dangle of a bead or whatever, but came up with this beautiful bracelet. Well, I think it's beautiful anyway. Yeah, just as I was watching Downton Abbey, it sort of inspired me a little bit. Gorgeous sort of cuff bracelet, so you can have it, you know, as long or as short as you want. The options are all up to you. So we're going to finish off this gold version, which I think is extremely pretty. Don't you? Well, I do anyway. Just a quick note though, before we get going on the ingredients, as I like to call them. I would like to ask you a favour, if you don't mind. My channel has, gosh, nearly 47,000 subscribers, which is amazing. And I love you all. Thank you all for being here. I have a feeling that my videos aren't getting pushed out to my subscribers. So could you tell me in the comments, please, whether you are seeing me in your feed? And if you're not, let me know. And also, if you could quickly pop the notification bell for me, and then I'm hoping that you'll be able to see me. I'm getting reports that people aren't actually seeing me appear in their feeds, you know, the sort of the feed that comes up, which you should if you're subscribed. So I don't really know what's going on there. Do me that favour, and because I don't want you to know to miss out on any of my ramblings. So let's go through a really quick list of materials. I won't make it exhaustive. I often get accused of talking too much. Hey ho! So I'm using bare copper wire. This is 1mm, which is 18 gauge, soft bare copper. So I'm using that. You can, actually, this would be really pretty in silver, to be fair. I think I'll make my mum a silver one. You're also going to need some 80 seed beads. So for this one, I used these guys here, Pearl Cream seed beads by Preciosa. But to finish off this guy here, I'm using galvanized rose gold Toho 80 beads. Okay, so you're going to need some 80 seed beads. What else are you going to need? Basic tools, actually, just very quickly. You're going to need some chain nose. You're going to need some cutters. I'm using my 6-step bell making plier, so everything that I show you today is based around the 2 to 9 increment plier. And you're going to need some little components like figure of eights, yeah, which I'll show you how to make as we go along. You're also going to need some 3mm and some 4mm jump rings made out of your 1mm wire. Dead simple. Okay, so I'll see you in a second and we'll get going. And we're back. So let's get straight into it. So to make this gorgeous bracelet, you're going to need some 6cm lengths of wire. Now do yourself a favour, cut a few. 6 centimetres is 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sixteenths in inches. Okay, so 6 centimetres. If you can use centimetres, it'll be better and easier. All right, so we're going to be making this shape here. Yeah, so I'm going to show you how to do that now quickly. So I've used 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 on my particular bracelet here. So I'm going to make just 2 sets to finish off this one. So you pick up your length of wire. I'm using the second step. I'm just going to make this shape here. All right. Really simple, beginner friendly. Find the middle or as near as you can and bend your wire like this so that it's even at one end. Cross one over the top of the other and make that kind of shape. All right, so you just keep doing that with all of your shapes. I tend to do this kind of thing in like a production line. Yeah, just because it just makes it so that you've got quite consistent and even shapes. I'll just do one more. So in the center, bend, cross over, and there we go. All right, so that's our first shape. The next thing we want to do is to create this shape, and I don't want any jokes about this shape, thank you very much, and you know what I mean. So what we want to do now is to take the largest of our mandrel, and that's 9mm for me. Your mandrels might be slightly different size, that's fine. The proportions are the same if you have a 3:10. Just means you'll have a slightly bigger bracelet, that's all. So pop your wire in, just so you can just about see it, and then just bend it round on one side, turn it around, and bend it round on the other side, like this. So we have these kind of shapes. I'll just do one more. So hold it like this, in, bend around like this, and bend it around. That's it. All right, so you just need to make all of these shapes. So the next thing we want to do is to bring in our seed beads. So as I say, I'm going to be finishing this here. So I'm going to be making, you know, a double two, so I can show you how it fits together. So bring out your seed beads. I think these would be beautiful in any colour, actually. I think the turquoise looks really nice, doesn't it? I think that's a really pretty shade with copper. So, you know, that would make a beautiful summer bracelet, actually. Okay, so I've worked out that if I put 5 seed beads on each of these arcs, it makes for a really nice shape. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So pop your seed beads on like this. Because I'm using a 2 to 9 increment, I'm using the smallest mandrel. Now hold your wire about here, and then holding this central bit as best as you can, make a loop like this. And you'll notice that when you bend the wire, that arc becomes less pronounced, and that's what we're looking for. Yeah, can you see that? So it's bent right round, but when you bend it, it sort of becomes less of a C, more of a, you know, that sort of less, you know what I mean. So let's put another 5 beads on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so you'll see what I mean. Can you see how that is less of a tight arc? That's what we're looking for. So pop your wire in and give it a bend into a shape like this. Now, if your wire bends a little bit, which it might do, you know, because you're manipulating it, this is what we're looking for. So you want to make a few of those. So I'm just going to make another one, just so I can, you know, show you how to fit them together. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Yeah, and then take your plier, very gently bend it around. If that's slightly too long, all you need to do is just snip a little bit off and keep going round like that. Yeah, so just put 5 more on the other side. 1, oops, 2, 3, and 4, oops, and 5. Hope my big fat hands aren't in the way. And then again round and make a loop. Thus. Okay, so again, if you feel like you've misshapen your wire a little bit, just come in with your pliers and just straighten them up. The next thing to do now is to check that they are, you know, these loops are equidistant. That one just needs to come in just a little bit. And the main reason for that, obviously, is that when we are attaching them together, we want them to be so that they do attach without any problems. That's a bit better. All right, so there's our two little guys there ready to be put together. I'm going to use a 4mm jump ring. Now the reason I'm using 4 is because when I was working out the dimensions of this, I tried lots of different sizes of jump rings and lots of different sizes of things, and they all sort of clumped up a little bit. So this is the best configuration. Okay, so let's get our 4mm and pop these two together. Oops, nope, right way. So pop them two together so they're exactly, you know, pointing the same way, and then close your jump ring, and then the same on the other side. If you can hear the wind, it's very windy here today, so apologies if it takes away from the enjoyment of the video. It shouldn't do, it's not too bad. Okay, so there's our little components. So like I say, I mean, you can use all sorts of different colours of beads for these. I mean, actually it would probably be really nice in, you know, 3 colours, you know, that kind of thing. Gorgeous, I think they are. So here we have our last component, this last sort of section for our bracelet. If you can see that, can you? Very difficult to tell when you're recording, but anyway, you should be able to see that. So I'm going to attach these 2 centres with 2 3mm jump rings. Again, as I've said before, I've worked out that these are the correct sizes to make it articulated, but so that it doesn't sort of bunch up. So attach like that, and then attach again in the centre. Oh, I should have to open that up a little bit. There we go. So you have 2 3mm jump rings in the centres, which are keeping all of those sections together. All right, so can you see here? So what I did is I attached all of these together, all of these sort of double sections together to start with. You then need to come in with some figure 8s, yeah? Now to make these, got a couple ready here. To make these, you use 2 centimetres of wire. So let's just cut 2 centimetres off, and I'll quickly show you. I mean, those who aren't beginners will know how to make these. Those of you who are a beginner, you just literally cut 2 centimetre lengths, and I'm using a 2mm mandrel. So pop your wire at the end and bend it round like so. And then you want to bend another loop round in the opposite direction. So holding it there like that, with that little loop facing you, round in the opposite direction. And there you have your little figure of 8. Super easy, yeah? And then all I do is I pop them in the flat plates of my plier and give it a squash. It just sets everything into place, if that makes sense. So what you want to do then is take a couple of your little figure of 8s, and you want to put a 4mm jump ring in the centre, like these that I've made earlier, just to make life a bit easier for me. Yeah? So that's all you need to do. So open up your jump ring, pop on your 2 figure of 8s, and close your jump ring. Now that will make the outside of the bracelet, the joining section, this part here. Yeah? So So we want 2 sets of those, one to go there and one to go there. Yeah, so open up your little jump ring, sorry, your figure of 8, and it wants to go in that loop there. So you tighten that up. You see it's attached at one side. Again, do the other side, and then attach it to that one there. Like that. And here we have our little section joined on one side. So all you do is join the other figure of 8s to the other sections. Okay, so I'll come back when you've done that. Okay, we're back. So hopefully you have something that looks a little bit like this. I didn't think it was relevant to show you me making the whole thing, because you only really need to make just these little sections, yeah? And then just join them together like I've showed you. Yeah, they're, you know, dead simple, really easy. So all we need to do now is to make a clasp. All right, so take a 6 centimetre piece of 1.25 millimeter wire, which I believe is 16 gauge, I think. And all you want to do is take the very tip like this. I just like a simple clasp. Make any clasp you like, really. Bend it over like so, and just squeeze that. And you want to do exactly the same thing on the other side, but in the opposite direction. Because don't forget, an S clasp has those little bends in the opposite direction. So just take your wire, bend it over like this. Yeah? And then come in with your pliers, and I'm using the 4th step, which is 2, 3, 5 millimeter. Pop your little loop and then bend round. So you have this. Take it off the mandrel and then do the same, but again in the opposite direction, so that you have an S shape like this. And then all you want to do is to give it a bit of a hammer. I won't do that on screen because I don't need to. And that's your simple S clasp. So if you've made 6 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, let's have a look at how long that is. I've put a couple of extra jump rings on mine because when I put an extra set of units on, it was just slightly too long. Okay, so mine measures approximately 19 centimeters, which is 7.5 inches, which is, you know, I think is pretty regular for most people, isn't it? So all I would do is just take a couple of 4mm jump rings, just pop them on the end. So I'm going to do 3 on this side, or you could do 2 on each side. Yeah, let's do 2 on each side so that it's equal, if you like equality in your jewellery. Actually, you know what, I'm going to do 3 on one side and 1 on the other, because I'm not sure if it'll sit flat if I don't. I can't work it out in my head this afternoon, just because I'm feeling that way out this afternoon. So let's do it the way that I did the original, and then you can work it out for yourselves. Don't forget, these are just ideas for you, just me sharing what I've been making this week, which is what this channel is all about. Yeah, and then once you've hammered, you know, your little clasp, you can put your clasp on, tighten one side so that that doesn't come out, and then you've got your beautiful, actually let me put this on off camera where I can actually see what I'm doing, because I have ridiculous eyesight. There you go. How pretty is that? Beautiful cuff bracelets. I hope you enjoy making these. Bit of a quick video this week, mainly because I don't want to bore you all. please do, if you are subscribed to my channel and you would like to see me appearing in your feeds, please just do click that notification bell. It helps me and it helps you see when I'm coming up with some new videos. Okay, so enjoy making those and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.